adoption of Bitcoin and building a strategic Bitcoin reserve does strengthen the position short term of the US and by extension the US dollar. But long term, it doesn't really matter. It's just maybe prolonging the life of the dollar for another 5 years, maybe. I think 2025 is going to be the year of the Omega candle and the year of 1 million Bitcoin.
The concept of hyper-Bitcoinization, where Bitcoin overtakes traditional fiat currencies, is steadily gaining traction. Central to this shift is the idea of nations adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. By holding Bitcoin, countries can shield themselves from inflation, currency depreciation, and economic turmoil, thus enhancing financial stability. Prominent voices in the Bitcoin community, such as Samson are exploring the long-term implications of this trend. Mo predicts that after Bitcoin hits the $100,000 mark, a psychological milestone, the cryptocurrency's value could surge to $1 million. He emphasizes that such growth will stem from increasing demand as Bitcoin cements its status as a legitimate and sought-after asset. Mo also highlights cracks in the current financial system, particularly rising US debt, as a catalyst for Bitcoin's adoption. In a climate of economic uncertainty, alternative currencies like Bitcoin present an opportunity for resilience. Make sure to watch this next clip as Mo outlines why this vision of hyper-Bitcoinization appears increasingly plausible. Also, if you enjoy listening to crypto-related content, please show your support by liking and subscribing to this channel by following the link in my bio. And get access to my free daily crypto updates and expert predictions direct to your inbox. Each newsletter contains market intelligence, on-chain data and latest updates from experts in the crypto space. All of this is available completely free of charge. Signing up only takes a moment and you can always change your mind later on. Now back over to Samson Mo.
Probably we might have already reached the 100K. So what do you think is the significance of this benchmark for Bitcoin?
Yeah, so 100,000 or 0.1 M, it's sort of a psychological barrier, much in the same way as 10,000 was a barrier, and 1,000 was a barrier, and 100 was a barrier. So I think once we pass 100,000, it's just smooth sailing up to 1 million. And it shows that Bitcoin has that growth potential. So once you cross that threshold into the 100,000 range, I think it's going to first accelerate. So Bitcoin's growth trajectory is not going to be, growing at 1,000 every couple of days or dropping by 1,000, but you'll start to go up by 10,000 a day or drop by 10,000 a day. And this is the God candle. And after that, we'll start to see Omega candles, which are 100,000 increments daily. So post 100K, that's when things start to heat up and it starts to accelerate. You're further along that steep exponential growth curve. We are very near hyper-Bitcoinization. So the definition hyper-Bitcoinization is a parallel of sorts to hyperinflation. It's the point at which we no longer need to convert Bitcoin back to fiat currencies like the dollar or yen, simply because there's no need to. Everyone is using Bitcoin, and most importantly, everyone only wants Bitcoin. So with money, it's typically a zero-sum game. You don't really want an inferior money unless there's a direct need for it. But generally, people want to keep their savings or store value, if they're using fiat currencies, in the strongest vehicle of fiat currencies, which typically right now is the US dollar. But hyper-Bitcoinization will just be the point at which Bitcoin replaces the dollar, and nobody wants to take the dollar anymore. They want sats for payment.
And why do you think are we so close to that sort of scenario?
Well, there's a number of factors. The current legacy system is failing. If you look at the fracturing of solidarity of the US dollar, you can see the BRICS countries are starting to migrate away. More trade is being done with the Chinese yuan. And most importantly, you can see the US debt is spiraling out of control. We are at $36 trillion right now. So there's a very big problem right now, and most people don't recognize the scale of that problem, but that debt is unlikely to be paid off. Even with Doge or Department of Government Efficiency, there's only so much you can do to trim the fat and to optimize and cost cut. But I think ultimately it's not going to have much effect because the spending is still there. And more importantly, the interest on that debt is compounding. And interest is a miracle. It's a miracle if you're, in the black, but it's the opposite of a miracle, or it's a big curse when you're in the red. The biggest thing that MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor is doing is that they are creating demand for Bitcoin. So I view the ETFs as a legitimization of Bitcoin as an asset class. And they are also a major source of demand. Demand for Bitcoin from the ETFs alone is multiples each day of supply. But MicroStrategy sort of adds gasoline on that fire by creating this Bitcoin reactor, which they can take corporate debt and corporate equity and convert that to Bitcoin, price at a much higher multiple in the future, and effectively pay zero interest rate for that. So they're sort of an accelerant on this fire that's already burning for Bitcoin.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for news and expert predictions direct to your inbox.